And there's news in the trade war. The United States today ended a tariff exemption for low-cost goods from China. That's a blow to online bargain retailers, including Temu.
But while many businesses are steeling themselves for trade war losses, the American steel industry has a brighter outlook. Elaine Quijano takes us to Wheatland, Pennsylvania, in the heart of steel country.
At Wheatland 2, the new tariff on foreign steel is sparking hopes for the future. The plant manufactures steel pipes and tubing. Barry Zeckelman is CEO of parent company Zeckelman Industries.
If you step into any building, we could be the structure of the building, the plumbing pipe running the water through the building, the piling that's pounded into the ground that the building's foundation is set on. It's everywhere.
To make their product, Zeckelman buys only U.S.-made steel. He believes buying American keeps jobs and tax dollars flowing.
When you say, oh, we can get it cheaper from somewhere else, that's a myth. You get it cheaper because it's subsidized by governments that are trying to destroy our industry.
To protect that industry, President Trump imposed a 25% steel tariff to counter what he says are unfairly traded imports, most subsidized from China.
What if these tariffs are a negotiating tool and they slide somehow?
I think a lot of them are. If the tariffs just slide and we go back to the same spot, then it doesn't work. But if you use them as a tool to open up more opportunities here, I'm fine with that.
After President Trump imposed steel tariffs in 2018, Zeckelman spent over $800 million improving and building 2 new plants.
So this is the new plant.
It is, yeah.
He also hired about 300 additional workers and now has more than 3,200.
Since 2018, we've spent $125 million on this facility.
Those investments made possible by the tariffs include safer, upgraded equipment. Investments that quality engineer John Alentella sees as job security.
It gives me the confidence, moving forward with the future, knowing that I'll be able to, buy a house and build roots and settle down in our community that I grew up in.
CEO Barry Zeckelman is ready to invest more, but says foreign steel imports are still flooding into the U.S. Slowing that, he believes, will require doubling or tripling the 25% tariff on foreign steel.
Now to the economy. The growth in consumer spending slowed sharply last month, while the personal savings rate hit the highest level in nearly a year.
A sign American consumers are becoming more cautious, partly because of the uncertainty over the on-again, off-again tariffs.
The president announced a new 50% tariff on foreign steel this evening as he touted a deal between U.S. Steel and Japan's Nippon Steel.
Ed O'Keefe is in Steel City tonight with the details.
With his tariffs facing legal challenges and no big trade deal yet, President Trump hoped for an economic boost by allowing Japan's Nippon Steel to buy U.S. steel, saving tens of thousands of jobs nationwide, including at least 11,000 around West Mifflin, Pennsylvania. Chris Kelly, the town's Democratic mayor, says residents are putting faith in Trump to seal the deal.
It's the biggest of days. This is historic for us.
And what makes it so historic? What makes it so important?
Well, we came from a period not long ago not knowing if U.S. Steel was going to be in business, if these workers in our community were going to have a job.
The agreement between U.S. Steel and Nippon would be a welcome reprieve for plant workers like Stacy Chambers.
If we're able to have a job for the next few years, even longer, I'd be happy because then I know I have a safe spot here at U.S. Steel.
Trump's decision comes as new CBS News polling finds public views on the economy remain mostly negative, with more than half saying they're concerned and stressed about their finances.
How do you think the economy is doing in this part of the state?
Sluggish right now. But it's turning around.
A Bloomberg News analysis found widespread uncertainty in corporate America. 3,100 mentions of uncertainties on earnings calls, the most in 2 decades. Kelly appreciates at least his town now has a little more certainty.
But this announcement conceivably helps people with some economic certainty now that they're going to have a job. They can go out and buy that new car.
Well, I'd still wait a couple weeks.
Optimism and pride which is sweeping
When this steel deal is all done, it's expected the U.S. government's going to have some kind of a say in company decisions, like how much steel is produced. There have been concerns that cuts in production would lead to cuts in jobs. And the president says that his 50% tariff on imported steel is designed to help boost the American-made product. Guys.
Ed O'Keefe, just outside Pittsburgh tonight. Thank you.
Tonight, President Trump is spending the weekend in the nation's capital after firing a new shot in his global trade war. This one focused on steel and aluminum. CBS's Torian Small is at the White House. Torian, the president is once again causing some turbulence there with these tariffs.
Yeah, that's right, Jerika. He also celebrated at that Pennsylvania rally a manufacturing deal he previously opposed. President Trump is touting what he's calling a partnership between U.S. Steel and Japan's Nippon Steel.
We're here today to celebrate a blockbuster agreement that will ensure this storied American company stays an American company.
He promised steel workers they would soon see an impact.
There will be no layoffs and no outsourcing whatsoever, and every U.S. steel worker will soon receive a well-deserved $5,000 bonus.
Trump also announced a doubling of tariffs on foreign imports of steel and aluminum.
We're going to bring it from 25% to 50%.
But it's American consumers who could be paying the price. The new tariffs threatening to impact the price of cars, appliances, even construction supplies.